Hey, stop what you're doing right now, because what I'm about to share with you in the next few minutes could genuinely change the way you sleep, the way you think, and the way you remember things starting as soon as tonight. I'm not talking about expensive supplements, prescription medications, or anything you need a doctor's visit to access. I'm talking about 3 specific fruits. Fruits you can find at any grocery store that, when eaten before bed, have been shown to actively repair brain cells, clear out the toxic debris that accumulates in your mind while you sleep, and dramatically sharpen your memory. And I know what you're thinking. Fruits before bed? That sounds too simple. That's exactly what they want you to think. Here's what shocked me. A landmark study conducted by researchers at the University of Cincinnati Academic Health Center followed 68 adults between the ages of 68 and 82 over a 16-week period. Those who consumed specific berry compounds before sleep showed a 36% improvement in word list recall, a 40% reduction in markers of neuroinflammation, that's brain inflammation, and measurable increases in brain-derived neurotrophic factor, or BDNF, which is essentially your brain's own repair chemical. 36%? That's not a marginal improvement. That's the difference between forgetting your grandchild's birthday and being the grandparent who remembers every single detail. Now, the third fruit on today's list, the one I'll get to last, is the one that surprised even me when I reviewed the research. It's something most seniors completely avoid because of an old myth about sugar. Please stay with me until the end, because that one could be the most powerful of all 3. Before we dive into the full list, I want to ask you something personally. Drop your age in the comments right now, whether you're 62, 71, 84, it doesn't matter. And tell me, have you noticed your memory slipping in the last few years? Maybe you walk into a room and forget why. Maybe names escape you. Maybe you reread the same paragraph 3 times. I read every single comment on this channel, and your answer genuinely helps me create content that serves you better. So please take 5 seconds and share that with me below. Now, I'm Dr. Thomas, and today we are counting down from number 3 to number 1, least powerful to most powerful, the 3 fruits seniors should be eating before bed to repair brain cells and boost memory. Let's get into it. Coming in at number 3, and don't let its humble reputation fool you, this fruit is quietly one of the most neuroprotective foods on the planet. I'm talking about kiwi fruit. Yes, the small, fuzzy, bright green fruit that most people only eat in fruit salads at summer barbecues. Researchers at Taipei Medical University in Taiwan conducted a fascinating study in which adults with sleep difficulties, and sleep is absolutely critical for brain repair, as I'll explain, ate 2 kiwis 1 hour before bed every night for 4 weeks. What happened? Their total sleep time increased by 13.4%, their sleep efficiency went up by 5.41%, and here's the one that matters most for brain health. They fell into deep, restorative sleep, the stage where your brain actually cleans itself, significantly faster than the control group. Now let me explain why this matters so much for those of you over 65. Your brain has a system called the glymphatic system. Think of it like a dishwasher for your brain. While you sleep deeply, this system activates and flushes out toxic proteins, including amyloid beta and tau, which are the very proteins associated with cognitive decline and Alzheimer's disease. After the age of 70, your glymphatic system operates at roughly 40% less efficiency than it did in your 40s. So anything that gets you into deeper sleep faster is not a luxury. It is neurological medicine. Kiwi does this through 2 primary mechanisms. First, it contains naturally occurring serotonin precursors. Serotonin is the chemical your brain uses to manufacture melatonin, your sleep hormone. Second, it is extraordinarily rich in folate, and folate deficiency has been directly linked to elevated homocysteine levels in the blood. Homocysteine, think of it as a rusty, corrosive substance circulating through your bloodstream, physically damages the walls of the tiny blood vessels that feed your brain. Seniors with high homocysteine have up to a 60% greater risk of brain atrophy, which means brain shrinkage. Kiwi directly combats this. My patient Margaret, 74 years old from Savannah, Georgia, came to me complaining that she was waking up 3 or 4 times a night and that her memory during the day felt like she was thinking through fog, as she put it. We made one change, 2 kiwis before bed every evening. Within 3 weeks, Margaret was sleeping through the night and reporting that her morning mental clarity had returned to something closer to what she remembered from her 50s. She told me it felt like someone had wiped the windshield clean. For practical preparation, eat 2 kiwis, not 1. The research specifically used 2, about 45 minutes to 1 hour before you lie down. You can slice them and eat them with a spoon directly from the skin, which is actually the easiest way. For a powerful synergy effect, pair your kiwis with a small handful of walnuts. Walnuts contain alpha-linolenic acid, an omega-3 fatty acid that enhances the absorption of the fat-soluble antioxidants in kiwi and adds its own powerful brain protective benefits. The 2 together are a bedtime brain combination that is hard to beat. The The scientific references for this study and all the others I'll mention today are linked in the description below. Moving up the list to number 2, and this one has been the subject of some of the most exciting neuroscience research published in the last decade. I'm talking about tart cherries, specifically Montmorency tart cherries, not the sweet cherries you put on top of sundaes. These are small, bright red, slightly sour cherries, and they contain something most people have never heard of: the highest naturally occurring concentration of melatonin found in any whole food. A study published in the European Journal of Nutrition found that adults who drank tart cherry juice twice daily, once in the morning and once at night, increased their melatonin levels by 15%, slept 84 minutes longer per night, and showed statistically significant improvements in cognitive performance, including concentration, memory accuracy, and processing speed. But melatonin is just the beginning of what makes tart cherries so remarkable for the aging brain. They are loaded with anthocyanins. These are the pigments that give the cherry its deep red color, and they are among the most potent anti-inflammatory compounds found in nature. Here's why that matters specifically for your brain as you age. Neuroinflammation, inflammation inside the brain, is now understood by leading researchers at institutions like the Mayo Clinic and Johns Hopkins to be one of the primary drivers of memory loss, cognitive fog, and the progression of neurodegenerative diseases. After age 65, your brain's immune cells, called microglia, become overactive, like a security system that never turns off and starts damaging the very thing it's supposed to protect. Anthocyanins directly suppress this overactivation. Think of them as a reset button for your brain's internal security alarm. Tart cherries also contain significant levels of quercetin and chlorogenic acid, both of which cross the blood-brain barrier. That's the protective shield between your bloodstream and your brain tissue, and directly stimulate the production of BDNF, that brain repair chemical I mentioned earlier. After 75, your brain's natural production of BDNF drops by as much as 35%. Every tool you have to boost it back up is a tool for preserving who you are, your memories, your personality, your independence. I want to tell you about Harold, 79, from Portland, Oregon. Harold had been noticing for 2 years that he was struggling to recall names and that conversations felt harder to follow. His daughter brought him in genuinely worried. Harold wasn't on any memory medications, didn't want to be. We introduced tart cherry juice into his evening routine, 8 ounces about an hour before bed. Within 6 weeks, his family was calling me. Harold's wife said he was back to himself, engaging in dinner conversations the way he used to, remembering the names of his grandchildren's teachers, following multi-step stories without losing the thread. Now I can't promise Harold's results to everyone, but I can tell you the science behind why his brain responded the way it did. For preparation, you have 2 options. You can drink 8 ounces of 100% pure tart cherry juice. Check the label. It must say no added sugar and should list Montmorency as the variety. Or if you prefer whole fruit, about a half cup of frozen tart cherries blended into a small smoothie works beautifully. Consume this 45 to 60 minutes before bed. For the synergy tip here, pair your tart cherries with a teaspoon of extra virgin olive oil or a small piece of dark chocolate, 85% cacao or higher. The healthy fats in olive oil enhance anthocyanin absorption by up to 30%, and dark chocolate adds its own flavonoids which support cerebral blood flow. That's the delivery of oxygen and nutrients directly to your brain tissue. Before I reveal the number 1 most powerful fruit on this list, the one that overturns a myth most seniors have believed for decades, I want to take a quick moment. If this information is helping you or someone you love, please hit that like button right now. It takes 1 second and it tells YouTube to share this video with more seniors who need to hear this. And if you haven't subscribed yet, click that button and ring the bell. I release new videos every week specifically designed for people over 60 who want to protect their health naturally. Now let's get to number 1, because this one genuinely surprised me. The number 1 most powerful fruit for repairing brain cells and boosting memory in seniors, especially when consumed before bed, is blueberries. Now I know some of you are saying, Dr. Thomas, I've heard about blueberries before, but I promise you, what I'm about to tell you goes far deeper than anything you've read on a wellness blog. And here's the myth I mentioned. Many seniors avoid blueberries in the evening because they've been told that the natural sugars in fruit will spike blood sugar, disrupt sleep, and cause weight gain. That fear, while understandable, is causing people to miss out on perhaps the most well-documented brain food in the history of nutritional neuroscience. Let me give you the numbers. A groundbreaking randomized controlled trial, the gold standard of medical research, conducted by the USDA Human Nutrition Research Center on Aging at Tufts University, followed 94 adults between the ages of 65 and 80 for 24 weeks. Half ate a daily portion of whole blueberries. The other half ate a placebo. At the end of the study, the blueberry group showed a 26% improvement in paired associate learning. That's your brain's ability to link faces with names, words with meanings, experiences with context. They also showed a 35% improvement in verbal memory, and MRI scans revealed measurably increased brain activity in regions associated with memory consolidation during sleep. That's the key. This is not just daytime nutrition. Blueberries actively enhance what your brain does in the hours after you fall asleep. Here's the science behind why, and I'll make it as clear as I possibly can. Blueberries contain the highest concentration of pterostilbene and anthocyanins of any commonly available fruit. Pterostilbene, think of it as the upgraded, more bioavailable cousin of resveratrol, crosses the blood-brain barrier more efficiently than almost any other plant compound ever tested. Once inside the brain, it does three extraordinary things simultaneously. First, it activates a cellular pathway called NRF2, your body's master antioxidant switch, which instructs your brain cells to produce their own protective compounds. Second, it suppresses the inflammatory cascade driven by a molecule called NF-κB, which is the primary trigger of neuroinflammation in the aging brain. Third, and this is where it becomes truly remarkable, pterostilbene has been shown in studies at the University of Alabama to directly stimulate neurogenesis, the growth of brand new brain cells in the hippocampus. The hippocampus is the brain's memory center, the region where long-term memories are formed and stored. After age 70, the hippocampus shrinks at an accelerated rate in most people. Blueberries can slow that shrinkage and, in some documented cases, partially reverse it. But why before bed specifically? Because during deep sleep, your brain enters a state of heightened neuroplasticity, its maximum capacity for repair, rewiring, and memory consolidation. The compounds in blueberries, particularly their anthocyanins, have a half-life in the bloodstream of approximately 6 to 8 hours. If you eat your blueberries at 8 or 9 in the evening, those compounds are still circulating at peak concentration at 2 and 3 in the morning, exactly when your brain is in its deepest repair cycle. Timing is everything. You are essentially fueling your brain's overnight maintenance crew. I want to share the story of Dorothy, 81 years old, from Tucson, Arizona. Dorothy came to me after her family had started noticing she was repeating questions within the same conversation. She was frightened. She told me she didn't feel like herself anymore, that her mind felt like a library where someone had shuffled all the books out of order. We introduced a nightly routine of 3/4 of a cup of fresh blueberries about an hour before bed, combined with a few simple sleep improvements. Within 8 weeks, Dorothy's family reported she was no longer repeating herself in conversation. Her daughter told me Dorothy had started doing the crossword puzzle again, something she'd given up 2 years prior because it had become too frustrating. Dorothy told me, "I feel like I got a piece of myself back." That is what this is really about. Not statistics on a page, but a human being reclaiming their life. For practical preparation, aim for 3/4 to 1 full cup of blueberries. Fresh or frozen, both are equally effective since freezing actually breaks down the cell walls slightly and may increase the availability of the anthocyanins. Eat them about 45 to 60 minutes before bed and do not add sugar. A light drizzle of raw honey is acceptable if you find them too tart, and actually, raw honey has its own mild neuroprotective properties. For the synergy tip, this is a powerful one. Pair your blueberries with a tablespoon of ground flaxseed or a small serving of plain Greek yogurt. The probiotic bacteria in Greek yogurt have been shown to metabolize blueberry polyphenols, those are the plant compounds, into even more bioavailable forms, essentially amplifying their potency. Think of the probiotics as a translation team that makes the blueberries' message clearer and louder to your brain. The combination is significantly more powerful than either food alone. And a word about the blood sugar concern I mentioned. Clinical data consistently shows that whole blueberries consumed in the evening produce only a modest, brief elevation in blood glucose that resolves within 45 minutes, well before you fall asleep. For most seniors, this is not a meaningful concern, and the neurological benefits far outweigh any glycemic consideration. If you are managing type 2 diabetes, please discuss portion sizes with your physician, but do not assume blueberries are off the table. So let's bring this all together. 3 fruits consumed in the right amounts at the right time each evening. 2 kiwis to deepen your sleep and protect those precious blood vessels feeding your brain. 8 ounces of Tart cherry juice or a half cup of Tart cherries to flood your brain with natural melatonin and anti-inflammatory power. And 3/4 of a cup of blueberries to activate your brain's repair systems, stimulate new cell growth, and strengthen the memory center while you sleep. These are not miracle cures. They are nutritional tools backed by real research conducted at real institutions, and I've linked the key studies in the description below so you can read them yourself. I want you to hear this clearly because I mean it with everything in me. It is never too late. I have watched patients in their late 70s and 80s make changes and come back to me transformed. The brain is not a machine that simply wears out. It is a living, breathing, adaptable organ that responds to what you feed it, how you sleep, and how you treat your body. Your memory, your sharpness, your ability to hold a conversation and recall a beloved moment and recognize the faces of the people you love, these things are worth fighting for. Your independence is worth fighting for. And something as simple as a cup of blueberries and 2 kiwis before bed might be the first step in that fight. Now I want to hear from you. Leave your age in the comments and tell me, which of these 3 fruits are you going to try first? Are you already eating any of them? Have you noticed any changes in your memory or sleep lately? I genuinely read every single comment, and your stories inspire the next video I write. If this video helped you today, please share it with someone you love, a spouse, a sibling, a friend who's been struggling with their memory. One share could change someone's life. Hit the like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you in the next video. Take care of that brain. It's the most precious thing you own.